body of 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney was found in a dumpster 10 days after she was abducted from a birthday party. Two suspects in the case were indicted this week. Uh, Two suspects charged in the 2019 abduction and murder of a 3-year-old Alabama girl was indicted Wednesday on federal kidnapping and conspiracy charges. The Northern District of Alabama U.S. Attorney's Office announced the indictments against Patrick Stallworth, 40 years old, and Derek Arisha Brown, 29. Both Stallworth and Brown already face state charges for kidnapping and capital murder in the death of Camille Cupcake McKinney. According to investigators, Cupcake's body was found in a dumpster 10 days after she was kidnapped from a birthday party at an apartment complex in Birmingham, Alabama. An autopsy found Cupcake was giving meth and a sedative before she was murdered in October. The kidnapping of a child is one of a parent's biggest fears. First Assistant United States Attorney Lloyd C. Peebles said, despite their best efforts, federal, state, and local law enforcement were not able to bring the 3-year-old victim home to her family. However, what do you mean they weren't able to bring the 3-year-old victim home to their family? Why is that? However, we hope that today's charges will be a step toward bringing justice for her and her family. Why weren't you able to, what does that even mean? Were you keeping the family from seeing the child? Or what does that even mean, that you weren't able to bring the 3-year-old victim home to her family? If convicted on capital murder, if in state court, Brown and Stallworth could face death penalties. Now they could face a similar fate. Wait. Now they could face a similar face if convicted. What? Now they could face a similar face if convicted. Don't you mean a similar? Wait a minute. Okay. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, roughly 800,000 children are reported missing each year. 800,000. In the United States, roughly 200 or 2,000 per day, with 115 child stranger abduction cases each year, which means the child was taken by an unknown person. And that's it. Okay. My question is, one, for what reason Did these two, Patrick Devon Starworth and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Derek Arisha Brown, what reason did they have to kidnap this child? Were they related to the family, or related to the child's mother in some way, friend, colleague, associate, whatever? Were they somehow affiliated or related to the child's mother? Like, how did they even come up with the decision to kidnap this specific child? I mean, my thing is this: people just don't do shit out of the blue. Okay, you have to have a plan of action before you do something like this. That's not making any sense to me. All right, as somebody who's very inquisitive and just think beyond emotion, I'm more like, wait a minute, how does things like this happen? How do two people wake up and decide that today I'm going to kidnap a child and murder the child? That just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And don't come to me with, oh, that is the devil. No, it's not. It ain't no devil. You know what I'm saying? And that's real shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of people, you know what I'm saying, like writing this off as some kind of just some kind of, oh, you know, this entity called Satan just possessed these people, and they just made a decision to go out and kidnap and murder a child. It does Things don't happen like that. All right? You just don't allow yourself to be possessed by some entity, and then the entity just makes you just go out and kidnap a child and murder the child. There has to be a plan of action in play for things like this to go down. All right? For two, if this was at a birthday party, then wait a minute. Was it the child's birthday party? Or was it just a birthday party? Okay, she was kidnapped from a birthday party at an Alabama. Okay, so she was kidnapped from her birthday party. Okay, all right. Okay, so that means that, you know, people. So that means that possibly the birthday party was probably outside, or yeah, the birthday party was possibly outside, and people were just partying and doing whatever the fuck they were doing, and they weren't paying attention to the children, and this child was a victim. She was the target. So what is it that people were doing at this party that caused this child to become a victim of kidnapping? Were people drinking? Were people smoking weed? What were people doing that was so distracting that they weren't paying attention? That's my second question. I'm not going to even get into where was the mother or where were the parents, okay? Because, see, my thing is this, okay? You can't say that, and you can't totally hold the mother or the parents responsible because, you know, sometimes, parents, saying there's other things that parents have to tend to. You know what I mean? And you're not, come on, you know what I'm saying? If you're being logical and reasonable, you're going to understand that parents are not going to have their children around them at all times. Okay? But at the same time, it's like, what were people doing at this party that that made this child susceptible to being kidnapped? That's my thing. Um, you know what?
Trying hard to get a better signal? Enjoy clear cell phone talk.
You know what? Um, this is it's that's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, you know. And that's sad. That's sad. You know, here here are my here's my thoughts on this. Okay, apart from all the emotions, because people get emotional about things. People get emotional about things like this. Okay, but my thing is this. Okay, in spite of how sad this is, on a more spiritual and metaphysical plane, or yeah, plane of thought, right? From a or should I say, from a spiritual and metaphysical perspective, right? Apparently, this child, she fulfilled her contract. Okay, because here's the thing: before we come here to this earth, we all sign contracts. We sign contracts to live a certain life for a certain amount of time. Okay? And apparently, apparently, this child, she served her purpose here on earth. Okay, her soul purpose. I'm not talking about a physical, I'm not talking about anything physical. You know what I'm saying? We think that, you know, um, a lot of us, we make the mistake of attributing, you know, our existence here on earth to something to a physical purpose when that's really not the case. Okay, we have a soul purpose. There is no actual physical purpose to be here on this earth. Okay, this earth is like a school. It's like a school or a training ground, or a place where you you receive some kind of you know soul lesson, spiritual lesson that you must learn um being here. Once you have completed your soul purpose, you leave. And that's what it is. And this brother, he speaks about this um in one of his in one of his video vlogs. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Understanding carbon I'm gonna have to check that out. Understanding carbon generational curses. Let's see. Soul levels. I believe that's the name of the. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. What is your soul level? And he talks about that. And I coming from a more like coming from a more occultic and esoteric school of thought. This is something that I resonate with. So so it's more it's less it less has to do with a physical purpose, like you know um being a judge, or being a celebrity, or being a basketball player, or a football player, or a singer, or whatever have you. No, you know what I'm saying. It's a sole purpose, that we come here to fulfill, and once we fulfill that purpose, we leave. You know, so even though it was a bad situation, or a sad situation that that this that this that this girl had to go through, being kidnapped and being sedated, and then being murdered, and then her body being dumped in a trash can. you know I can't imagine what that child went through. um And then too, here's another question. That I have about this. Now that I think about it, let's see. Let's see here. what did they? Okay, she was given meth and a sedative. What kind of sedative? But man, you know, you know, I don't know, man. Looking into their eyes, looking into their eyes, they do look possessed. Now that I think about it, now that I'm looking, they they do look possessed. See, when you look into somebody's left eye, you look into somebody's left eye. From what I read that somewhere, when you when you look into somebody's left eye, that's how you see into their soul. But when I look into their eyes, period, like they don't they don't look right. And you can see it, man. When you look into somebody, when you look into people's eyes, you know what I'm saying. You can pretty much tell. You know what I'm saying. You know something. You know what I'm saying. Something ain't right with this person, or something is off with this person. You know what I'm saying. And like when I look into their eyes, they don't look right. They don't look right, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, how do you just get up one morning and you decide, hey, I'm gonna kidnap a child, and I'm going to give this child meth and a sedative, and then I'm going to murder this child, and then I'm gonna dump this child in a dumpster. How do you do that? That, like, how do you do that?